Hello, Super Hexagon. Long delay, too long.
Oh, I am so not prepared for this.
Virtudor and Tarquinn failed. We
Yes.
haven't played this game in months.
It's been so
So,
long.
so you tell everybody how they.
Yeah.
That's not my name.
So I'm playing and recording it and uploading on my channel, and Tarquinn's playing and recording and uploading on his channel, and you should watch them split screen at the same time.
Yes.
So you can point and laugh at whoever's losing more. What am I doing? This is so bad.
Oh, I guess I have to. I can't. Oh, I didn't get a high score. Well, duh.
So this game has three worlds, three levels, three difficulties
Yeah, and then 3 harder difficulties.
of the same levels.
Right.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So we're doing number
yeah.
5, the harder
So
version of the second level.
So the first difficulty level in the game is hard. And then it goes hard, harder, hardest. And then it goes hardest-ist. And then
Hardester, hardestest.
hardestest, and hardestest. Something like that. So this is hardestist.
Yes.
Or hexagoner.
And we're talking about, because you can't really do commentary on this game, we're going to talk about moving.
I need to spell my screen name.
Wow, I haven't even gotten that high score yet.
Okay.
We're talking about moving stories. So you just recently moved, so you start.
Okay, well, we recently moved from one apartment in this apartment complex to another apartment in the same apartment complex in the other building. So we moved about, I guess, 100 yards further up the road. And we still had to get a trailer to move everything.
Really?
And we had to get friends to help us, and it still took us 4 days to move all of our stuff out of a 3-bedroom apartment into another 3-bedroom apartment. The reason we moved was because everything was leaking and moldy. It was gross. Our tub was leaking into the closet and molding, and we didn't know it, so I've lost a couple of pieces of furniture to mold damage. They had to replace the tub, and then we didn't realize that, but when we finally found out, they thought they came out and fixed it. And about a couple months later, we realized that it hadn't been fixed because I went into the closet. I was looking for my old Nintendo Power magazines, oddly enough. And the bottom box in the closet was my Nintendo Power magazines.
Oh, no.
But luckily, the box was the only thing that got moldy, so they're still intact. But I had to change the box. Yeah. And then, I mean, I had a box with Risk in the bottom of it, and the entire game was covered in mold when I found it the first time. But between the first time and the second time, the ceiling in our bathroom started leaking from the upstairs neighbor's toilets onto our toilet and in our closet, and it was all kinds of nasty. So we complained, and they moved us into this place. So now we have to make a whole new list of everything that's broken in this department until until we get it all fixed. So that's my most recent moving story. I moved because I was getting migraines from the mold damage.
Oh, man. We gotta, every year when it's time for us to renew our lease, my sister and I look for a new place to live. We have not had a good experience living in this apartment, but it's right around the corner from her job, and it's affordable, and so far every other place we've looked at hasn't been as good for those reasons.
Where we live is, we did it on the little tachometer. It is 0.9 miles from where my wife works.
Oh, wow.
So it is the only apartment 0.9 miles from where she works.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty cool. It's not in the best. It's on the edge of a not so good neighborhood, but itself, it's a pretty decent place.
Well, I live in a college town, and everything around here is student housing.
Well, all the student housing around us is about 5 blocks away.
Oh, wow.
We're on the very edge of downtown, where it turns into kind of a slummy area.
Well, so east from me is BYU, about 5 blocks away, something like that. And then one
So you
block.
walked to school when you went there then?
No, that's not where I lived when I was going there.
Oh, okay.
1 block or 2 blocks west of me is a house that's been converted into BYU housing.
Oh, okay.
So it's all around me.
I liked living in college area. I had friends that lived there, and I would stay the night over with them. I mean, not where you're at, but in college park type places. And I liked it. I mean, there were people out all the time, and they weren't extremely loud, but there were always people awake and in the streets.
Huh. The worst around here, this isn't a moving story at all, but who cares? The worst around here is there's some guy who really loves his sports bike, and there aren't cops out on the street at 3 in the morning. So you hear it every day at 3 in the morning, go flying by multiple times.
Where we just moved to is right next to the parking garage, so we always hear people coming in blasting their radios, or people walking back here because we live near stadiums and things like that. So there's people that'll let their friends park here, and then they'll just walk to the stadium. So there's people coming in at 3 or 4 in the morning that have been partying, so they're extremely loud and don't realize that they're extremely loud. And it's right below our window. It's 1 story down from our window. That's where the sidewalk is.
The second place I lived in Utah when I was still going to school was with an aunt and uncle, and they were not that far from a different school, and every week there was a football game and fireworks. So I got used to hearing fireworks every week. So my most recent moving story was a few months ago. I drove from Utah to New York to help my mom pack, and loaded her and her stuff into my car, and then drove back.
Yeah, and you made a video during that time too.
I did. I showed off
retro video game collection.
Yeah, all of my console games that I was just going through all this stuff. We had 2 storage units full of stuff, and we wanted to condense it down into 1. And so that's what I was helping her with while I was there.
Right.
And so I got to go through some of my old stuff doing that.
But yeah, the move.
But the move was, 4 days long, just driving cross country. The only part that
was it 4 days there and 4 days back?
I was there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, was it 2 days there and back, or 4 days there and back?
No. It took me 5 days to drive to New York
because of the storm.
Because I got stuck in a blizzard in Wyoming. And then 4 days back because my plan was to make it to New York in 3 days.
Right.
But the coming back 4 days was the correct number of hours to drive every day. And the only stress, looking back at it, that's a long time to spend in a car moving.
Yeah.
4 days. But I don't remember it being a long time. It was just really smooth. It was very zen. It was just, what I was doing with my time.
Right.
Just listening
to... Kind of like playing this game. You just go through the motions.
Yeah, something like that. But I think the only stressful part about the whole move was her cat. And the main reason I argued for her moving by car instead of by plane was because it would be easier on her cat. And he didn't,
shame on you.
He didn't like it. Yeah, what was I thinking?
Cats hate cars.
The original plan was that I would just take him by myself and she would fly. She didn't want to drive across the country, but she warmed up to the idea. I think because, what happened was she had pretty much decided she was going to fly it. And then I called her and we talked. And, I never talk on the phone. I hate talking on the phone. But, we just had a conversation about life, whatever. And she got off the phone thinking, yeah, it's spending 4 days in the car with Hiram might not be so bad.
Nice offhanded remark there. Oh, sure, thanks, Mom.
She didn't say that, but
too.
I'm sure that's what changed her mind. So, but we
so
just...
it's a good thing. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so we just...
Because I'd never want to be in the car with you for 4 days.
I certainly hope not. But we just, listened to audiobooks the whole drive. It was really pleasant.
Yeah, that's a lot easier than we were moving furniture. We had to go down a stairwell from the old apartment and then out to the curb. We were thankfully right next to the exit of the building. And then we had to drive, since it's a one-way road, we had to drive all the way through this rough neighborhood in a giant circle just to get 50 feet up the road.
Wow.
To pull into the parking garage so we could go up a flight of stairs with all this heavy furniture. And it got to the end and we were carrying the heavy stuff last. And I had to motivate the guy that was helping us by counting the number of steps that were left before we reached the top, because he was at the top pulling backwards. So we'd stop on every step and I'd go, all right, 10, 9. And then I started messing with him and I started going, 10, 11, 12. Wait a minute. The steps are increasing. No. It was horrible. We went into the house, and I think at one point on one of the days before he was helping us, I moved a lot of heavy boxes into the house. And then I went into the closet because we didn't even have a bed set up. I went into the closet and found a sleeping bag and unrolled it and just fell asleep on the floor in the closet for half an hour.
In the closet?
And I woke, and it was a furnace because the air conditioner was broken when we moved in.
Oh no.
So I woke up covered in sweat, but I was ready to move a couple more boxes, so whatever works.
Oh.
The heat normally doesn't bother me, but just for shock value, a lot of people don't like waking up with that feeling. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I hate the heat. So my sister and I have lived together for every year of our life except for like 1.5 years. When I came out to Utah, I was here for 1.5 years before I moved in with her.
When you were going to college?
Yeah.
Okay. But she already lived there?
No. Well, so I was here for 1 year, and then she moved out here, and then another half year we weren't living together.
Okay.
But at one point we had an apartment, and both working, and it was not too far from our mom's house, but we decided the money we were spending on rent should really be going to our mom, so we gave up the apartment and moved back in with her. And I remember consolidating all of the furniture was quite tricky. There was,
you had 2 of everything?
Basically. And that's where the storage units come into play.
Oh, okay.
You know, my sister's table went into storage. There wasn't room for 2 tables. Her couch went into storage. But one of the little bedrooms downstairs at my mom's house, we sort of converted into a second living room. And put, a couple chairs and a love seat in there. And I remember I had sort of mapped out where all the furniture was going to go, and there was going to be room for a couch. And so I got my friends. Oh, I should talk about my friends helping me move as well. To help move this couch downstairs, and it did not fit. So you're talking about, moving furniture down the stairs. The problem was it was about 6 or 7 steps down and then a sharp left.
Yeah.
And we could not get the couch up at enough of an angle that the stairs were going down, and left at enough of an angle to make the corner. Yeah,
there was an episode of Friends where Ross was trying to get this huge couch up the stairs, and he said, all right, pivot, and ended up getting somebody trapped on the thing. So yeah, moving stories.
Pretty much exactly.
Yeah.
I've never not been able to move furniture, and we spent a half hour probably. Everybody else saying, Hiram, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit. No, it will. It fits. We'll make it fit.
I'm the same way.
But
take the furniture apart if you have to.
My friends were really great. I got 2 of my burly friends to help me move some of the heavy furniture, because I'm a scrawny, worthless guy. I can't do it. And there was, in particular, we had a stacking.
I'm deceptively strong.
Oh, really?
I'm stronger than I look.
I have no meat on my frame, so
I'm pretty much. I'm lean, mostly muscle, but I'm not the strongest person ever. But I can lift more than you would expect me to be able to lift.
So we had a a washer dryer stacking unit, and my friend Smitty still won't let me live that down. That I made him move that thing because it was tons. It was so crazy heavy, and these two burly guys couldn't move it.
And that's why he's been recommending all these torturous LPs to this day. That's why Gauntlet and
Shadowrun and Shadowrun, yeah. I guess so. He also won't let me live down the time I gave him food poisoning.
Oh, wow.
Little things like that.
Food poisoning, no fun.
No. He missed like 2 days of work, 3 days of work, something.
Yeah, I've missed about 3 years of work now.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't say I miss it, but the income was nice.
I miss work, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's a whole nother series. We have the topics maxed out on this series.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, are we discussing the time limit, the farthest we've gotten so far, or are we just going to tell at the end?
Yeah, let's wait till the end.
Okay.
Oh, I want to have one more good run, but I don't think it's... I haven't had one good run yet.
Well, I've made it nowhere near the max high score. That's for sure.
I hope not.
The minute mark. That's what I mean. The max high score on the high
top
score.
So
Yes.
So tell me your first time you moved out.
First time I moved out, I was a very rebellious kid. And the first time I moved out with a girl that I had started dating 2 days before and met 3 days before.
Wow.
And I was 21, I think, and she was 19, I think. Yeah, 21 and she was 19.
Well, that's not too bad.
And she was still living with her ex-boyfriend. And her
Wait, did you
mom,
move in with her ex-boyfriend?
Her and her ex-boyfriend and her mom and her older brother.
And you moved in?
And I moved in.
Wow,
her
that's
dad
interesting.
had just moved out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. That was one of the points in my life where I didn't care what happened to me, just as long as something was happening. It didn't matter if it was bad, at least it made me feel like I was awake or existing. So there was a lot of drama, a lot of drugs, a lot of crazy people in and out of the house.
Yeah.
No good.
Man.
But yeah, very impulsive. I think I surprisingly dated the girl for about 3 months. She was a nice person, she's just crazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was just as crazy. I moved in with them.
First time I moved out. So my family had a habit that all the siblings, I'm the 7th of 8 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And all the siblings would go away for college and then come back. And move back in after college.
Uh-huh.
Every single one. And also every single one of them that got married, except for my oldest brother, would move in after they got married.
Mm-hmm.
To get on their feet and all that.
Uh-huh.
So, before I moved out for the first time, the house situation, there were essentially 9 adults and 1 baby living there in a 6-bedroom house.
Wow. I've never lived in a 6-bedroom house.
And I'm not a social person. I like my privacy.
Yeah, me
and
too.
It was hard on me for years. Living there was hard on me. And finally...
I just end up locking myself in the room when there's 2 people.
I did that all the time. There were times, my dad would say, "So I don't know when you're in the house or when you're not."
I'm a quiet roommate in general. If I'm recording or something like that, then I'm probably making a bit of noise. Or if I'm playing Awesome Nuts, because that game makes me loud.
Yeah, screaming.
Yeah. But other than that, you wouldn't even know I was here for days at a time if I didn't play video games or record.
But finally, my sister and our other sister decided to get a place and invited me to go along. Mm-hmm. So I basically kept house which is all I do these days too. But,
So you do the chores and stuff?
yeah, until I got sick, I was doing all the chores, yeah. Oh, that's the timer. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, what's your high score?
1943.
Oh, man. 1215.
Oh.
I couldn't break the 1150 mark after I got it.
Oh man,
I did
you're
not do good.
not actually that far behind me though. I think
that's just a couple more lines.
I think I only beat 12 maybe 3 or 4 times. That's crazy.
Yeah, I only got even close to 12. Well, 1150, but I didn't even break 1150 after I got 1150. So I got 1215, 1150, and then I just kept doing worse than that.
All right, everybody, this has been Birchador Tarquinn playing Super Hexagon.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, those words.
That thing.